Here are 4 steps architecture firms need to establish a predictable client flow without chasing or being pushy. They are attract, capture, nurture, and close. Don't miss the last step where I discuss how more successful architects are actually getting paid for their proposals. Marketing is a taboo subject for architects. In this video, I'm going to explain how to effectively market an architecture firm and how you can view marketing differently so you can close more deals with a higher rate of predictability, even if you're new to running a firm or if sales makes you uncomfortable. If you watch to the end, you'll finally have a simple framework to quickly understand what a sound marketing strategy for an architecture firm can look like, so you'll never be confused about what to do next. And best of all, you only need one piece of software to pull it off. Let's dive in. The industry has a dark history of advertising regulations imposed by the AIA that, although revoked 50 years ago, still leave the stench of social stigma on what's appropriate for firms when it comes to promotion. Add to that most small firm owners are designers by training and don't understand what marketing is, and you have a recipe for struggle, which has left architecture as one of the lowest paid, high education professions. But you don't need to stay at the bottom of it. Marketing for most architecture firms and business owners in general is a loaded term associated with sleazy sales tactics and shameless self-promotion. So if that's the case, then it makes sense that architects who aim to authentically express themselves through design and also hope to win more work with good design would avoid marketing like the plague. Thankfully, effective marketing has nothing to do with shameless self-promotion, so we can throw that idea right out the window. And sadly, portfolios, no matter how nicely laid out, aren't the key factor in winning clients. One firm I worked with was posting project images almost daily on their Facebook and Instagram pages, getting only a handful of likes, 0 comments, and of course, no business from their hard work and consistent effort. That's because when you talk about yourself or your work, nobody cares. Period. In fact, it can get annoying, and as a result, people will tune you out. So here's a better use of your time. Marketing is about building trusting relationships by helping people. Think about the services you've bought in the past. If it's an engineering firm, for example, you have to first understand what an engineering firm does and how to work with one. It's also likely you had to get clear on what you wanted. You had to do some firm research, ask friends for recommendations, set up some meetings, get some quotes, and only then could you make a confident choice. So, did you choose someone you Google searched and spoke with only one time? Or did you select a firm based on a trusted friend's recommendation, multiple interactions with the firm, and the attention that firm gave you in helping you understand how to best work together? Step 1, attract. What gets people interested in you? There are 3 main sources where most small firms find new prospects. Referrals, which you're probably already getting. This includes results that come from networking and people who trust you, like your current clients. Online search on platforms like Google and hundreds of others. And social media on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. With so many potential search and social media sites available, it can be challenging, time-consuming, and downright impossible to be good at all of them. If you're just starting out, at least update your Google business profile with your services and great photos of your office and built work. Google is picky about approving renderings and project images, but some firms get around this by having them in the background of their location photos. If you've already done this, you'll be able to use the software I'll mention in the next step to update your company information across more than 70 online listings in a few clicks. As for social media sites, pick one. It's better to be active and consistent in one place than it is to be unavailable everywhere. That way you can hyper-focus on building one community on the platform of your preference and still be attentive enough to reply to comments and direct messages. As for what to say, it's better to listen first. Join groups to read comments or watch videos to see what your prospects are asking. Then be helpful by responding to their questions or create your own posts answering frequently asked questions. It's important not to promote yourself in these online communities. Not only might you push people away, you might even get kicked out of certain groups. As you go, make a list of at least 100 FAQs, which will guarantee you'll never run out of things to talk about. Each topic you cover will help somebody trust you, and many will click the website link you put in your bio to learn more about your firm. We're not going to cover advertising in this video because if you haven't yet mastered everything I've already shared and everything I'm about to share, your ads might get you attention, but you run the risk of losing your leads along the way if your business is not properly set up to bring them in. This is why most people say advertising doesn't work for them, not because ads don't work, but because they're not good at step 2, which is capture. Once you've attracted people's attention, how do you treat them? Here are 3 main tools a small firm needs to have in place to effectively capture and manage leads. The first is easy-to-use forms and smart chatbots on your website to take in and respond to potential clients automatically within seconds. Most firms have the first, almost none have the second. The second is a way to field all of your phone calls, text messages, social media messages, and email inquiries. You can now even take messages directly from your Google Business listing. Do this in one centralized place so you don't need to monitor conversations in 16 different browser tabs. Contacts all over the place? Get a CRM, which is a client relationship management tool that collects and organizes all of your new incoming contacts and their conversations in the same centralized place for you and your sales team to manage. This is where most architecture firms start having difficulty, because it requires 2 things that architects are not good at when they get too focused on their paying work: timely follow-up and organizing contacts. This isn't just an architect thing. Most small businesses have a newsletter sign-up form on their website, for example, but when you put in your email address, you almost never hear from that business. They also keep leads all over the place, like in their phone, handwritten notes, spreadsheets, and maybe even a Rolodex. Larger firms have an office manager dedicated to sitting by the phone or answering incoming messages right when they come in. But that's expensive, and you're busy. That's why, according to Forbes, the average lead response time is 47 hours. For most small businesses, only 27% of those leads get contacted at all, which is a lot of potential business being missed. Who would you rather work with? Someone who replies in 2 minutes or in 2 days? For this, you could use a tool called High Level that can be set up to do all of this for you automatically. It can even use AI to learn about your firm and answer simple questions, as well as invite leads to schedule a call with you. Its automations feature lets you schedule days worth of insightful follow-up messages to give prospects useful information so they can understand how to best work with you before hopping on a call. That way, your firm can build trust and reduce friction leading up to a deal. As with any worthwhile marketing system, it takes work to set up, and it's totally worth the effort. There's an affiliate link in the description that will give you a free trial of the software so you can test it out at no cost. And using this link helps me create more content like this. Automating your communications brings us to step number 3, nurture. Educate and entertain to build trust and turn prospects into good clients. These are 3 important tools firms can use to build trust and prepare prospects to become good clients. If you don't already have a popular book published, you'll at least need email marketing. Not to talk about yourself and promote your projects, but to offer deep insights your prospects need to know in advance of working with someone like you, so they can have certainty and avoid costly mistakes. If you insist on using projects as examples, share the values that went into your work and how they manifested, instead of using archibabble to explain the technical aspects of what you do. Values connect people with you, technical jargon loses them. Then there's your blog. There's no need to reinvent the wheel here. Your written content can be repurposed in many places, and your blog is the place that lets folks get the right answers when they need them, without waiting for your newsletters. Finally, there's timely follow-ups. Prospects at various stages of decision-making will contact you looking for resources. Use your CRM to track who has downloaded, read, or watched your content so you can set automatic follow-ups accordingly. Sending a proposal is like asking a prospect to marry you, and most architects go for the sale too soon. By now, you've probably experienced that turning a prospect into a client can take months, or sometimes years, because that person or company who needs what you do just isn't ready. In fact, according to the Architecture Marketing Institute, only 3% of your leads are actually ready to start now, if they trust you more than your competitors. The remaining 97% are either still doing research or need some important questions answered first. It's no wonder that firms who ignore this 97% struggle to find new clients. Nurturing your contacts means helping them, and this can be done at scale over time to ensure you have a steady stream of prospects in the long run. You'll always attract prospects who have never worked with an architect or who need to understand what the process is like, what important steps to expect, what information they should gather, what kind of budget to raise, how to jot down their ideas, and of course, what pitfalls to avoid. This is where your blog post and your email marketing comes in. Some firms even have free downloadable PDFs or print publications they offer in exchange for a prospect's contact information, so they can answer these questions in multiple formats without being there in person. Having these nurturing steps in place will help turn your leads into prospects who are ready to meet with you and ask critical questions before they can feel confident moving forward. Many firms use tools like MailChimp or Constant Contact for email marketing. But if you opt to use High-Level for your email marketing, it will work together with your CRM, so you always know which prospects are reading your messages. When a prospect gets close to becoming a client, you can add them to the sales pipeline tool, so you always know how much potential business is on the table at any given time. And when you get overwhelmed and forget to follow up with important contacts, you can tell the CRM to send them a message, and it can also remind you to reach out. This brings us to the final step. Step 4, close. Turn your prospects into paying clients who know, love, and trust you. These are 3 items you'll need to close deals with greater ease. The first and most overlooked is the initial diagnostic. This is a low commitment offer you can make to help prospects who have a few critical questions get the clarity they need so they can proceed to the next step, which is your proposal. Most architects skip directly to this step, and it can be really expensive and time consuming. The proposal tells your prospect exactly what they're getting, for how much, and within how long. You're probably already doing this, but if you're still watching, you probably want it to go better. The third is to hand them off to project management. This can be messy for a lot of firms. However, if you do this with grace, you'll have a client who continues to trust you for the long haul. Bad clients and good clients have something in common. Taking them on is your choice. If you've done steps 1 through 3, you're in a position to disqualify bad clients. The ones who aren't ready, don't have the money, or don't value the work that you do. You'll also be in a position to invite good clients to work with you. At this point, most architects opt for the proposal. If you've done the work so far, you're almost guaranteed to close deals at a higher rate. And with the trust you've built with your prospect so far, you can even justify higher fees than other firms. After all, you're offering them a higher level service full of value and clarity no one else has yet given them. But proposals take time, and you only have so much time to create them. This is fine if the prospect is ready to move forward immediately and you're at the top of their list for consideration. But for prospects who want to meet with you, to ask critical questions before working with you, there's a low commitment service you can offer that gives them a lot of value, gets your foot in the door, and prevents you from losing time to free meetings like every other architect does. Firms who use this tactic call it many things: a project strategy session, a project planning workshop, or a project clarity coaching call are just a few examples. It works similarly to the way a doctor will do an initial diagnostic for a lower fee before proceeding with an expensive surgery. It wouldn't make sense to just cut you open without checking you out first, right? This is risky. So why would you as an architect offer an expensive proposal if there are still unknowns you have to research? You'd be risking your valuable time as well as giving a less than accurate proposal. Normally, architects think that they have to give away as many ideas as possible in order to build trust with the client and increase the odds of winning a project. But in truth, giving your prospect more ideas actually extends the amount of time they need to think about the project and further adds to them devaluing your work. Maybe you've experienced something like this. You schedule a consultation with a client, they ask you to visit their site and offer ideas to consider. You drive an hour to get there and they show up late. They love your ideas, but you never hear from them again. Or if you do hear from them again, you find out that they've chosen a cheaper firm because, well, they've already put your great insights to work, and now they just need a glorified draftsperson to execute them. Drafting is a low-cost commodity, and you're not in business to do drafting. Clients pay for your ideas, so don't give them away for free. Don't think this is real? Try asking Bob Stern or Renzo Piano to come and do a free site visit so that they can give you free advice in exchange for the slim possibility that maybe one day they would have the privilege of being your architect. Your initial diagnostic solves this problem by setting this initial meeting on your terms. You ask the questions you would need to ask in order to put together an accurate proposal. Don't give away your ideas. Your goal is to gather information and help the client get clarity. After the session, you give them a clear and detailed project brief, similar to an RFP, that you or any firm they choose to work with can craft a proposal for. What's great about this kind of session is you can charge a nominal fee, say $1,500, to cover your time in the meeting, consider the prospect's program, research local ordinances, and write the brief. The client wins because they get the clarity they need to get started, plus the freedom to go to any firm with a clear set of project guidelines. Doctors do this, lawyers do this. I've even done this in my marketing agency, so why not you? Your clients will be really thankful you did. Plus, the extra $1,500 in the bank won't hurt either. If they've had a great experience with you up to this point, and it's likely they have, it's also likely that they'll choose to work with you. When that happens, you can use your CRM to notify your sales admin person to prepare the contract and share all previous communications with your project manager so everyone is up to speed in a few clicks. Now, I get that there's a lot of steps you could be working on. Thankfully, you don't need to do it all right away. Firms that do even one or two of these things really well have an advantage over their competition. To show you what I mean, let's look at some numbers. Let's suppose, for the sake of simplicity, that your average project pays you $10,000. Most small firms only get a handful of interested leads every month, and if we're being generous, they might close one of them. Now imagine implementing any one of the steps in the attract phase to increase your leads from 5 to 10. If that were the case, instead of closing 1 deal per month, do you think you could close 2? If so, you'd effectively double your sales to $20,000 per month. Then let's say you better nurtured the 10 leads you already had and followed up in a timely manner. Do you think you could close 1 more deal on top of that, tripling your sales to $30,000 per month? And let's say that 5 of those 10 leads paid you $1,500 for a diagnostic on the way to becoming a client. That's an additional $7,500 added to your $30,000 just for meetings you would have done for free anyway. What would you do with an extra $27,500 every month, or even half of that? Work less, hire a designer, go on vacation, spend more time with your family? If you're a firm that works on larger building or planning projects, you can add a 0 to these numbers and see how your revenue quickly multiplies by making only these tiny adjustments to your marketing pipeline. I can't promise you anything, and I have nothing to sell you, except for showing you a framework and a really neat piece of software. The only thing standing in your way is your willingness to tinker with the steps that I showed you in this marketing pipeline, the courage to charge what you're worth, and the ability to close deals like you already do. This is how firms grow, but since it's business and marketing, no one is openly talking about it, and as a result, the entire industry suffers. I created this video in hopes that my years of helping small businesses grow can translate to the architecture profession so that all of our colleagues can continue doing the work they love, but also to get paid for doing it. It pains me to see and hear so many architects talking about how little they get paid and how much they struggle when we went to school for minimum 5 years to get the degrees that we had, in addition to the years that it took to go through the internship requirements, take the exams, and finally get licensed. So if we're going to go through all that, why not also be able to get paid a reasonable salary, be able to take care of our teams and the ones we love, and to be able to enjoy our lives? If you found this content to be valuable, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel, which will help share it with more people. As a follow-up, I plan to create a video series walking you through how I set up each of the steps I talked about in this video for my architectural illustration business. Leave a comment below and tell me if you'd be interested in following along. I'm just getting started with the marketing systems for that business, so this will be a great opportunity to show you my results from start to finish, including what doesn't work, so we can make adjustments together. It's important to know that marketing is hard work, and the results you're looking for in your firm won't come without effort. But if you're willing to be courageous, do the work, and learn along the way, you can increase the predictability of your firm's prospective client pool. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.